Imagine starting a business in your 60s with nothing but a dream, a recipe, and a will to succeed. Now imagine that dream turning into a global empire. This is the story of Colonel Harland Sanders, a man who defied the odds and built the Kentucky Fried Chicken empire from scratch, one secret ingredient at a time. Born in 1890 in Henryville, Indiana, Harland Sanders had a rough start. Raised by his mother after his father passed away when he was just 5 years old, Sanders was forced to work at a young age. Over the years, he tried his hand at a variety of jobs, everything from a farmer to a railroad fireman to a salesman, but none of them were his true calling. He struggled, failed, and even went bankrupt. But what was always constant in his life? His love for cooking. At 40, Sanders opened a small service station in Corbin, Kentucky, where he served meals to travelers. It wasn't much, just a small room with a handful of tables. But Sanders had a gift, his fried chicken recipe. It was unlike anything anyone had ever tasted. Word spread quickly, and the little roadside diner became a favorite. But even then, his true journey was just beginning. By the time Sanders hit his 60s, he faced a tough break. His gas station was no longer profitable, and the highway was rerouted. But instead of giving up, he decided to take a chance. He packed up, started cooking his famous fried chicken at different restaurants, and pitched his recipe to restaurant owners, one by one, rejection after rejection. But he didn't stop. At the age of 62, after countless rejections and nearly being turned away from every opportunity, Sanders found his first partner. It wasn't an overnight success. No success ever is. But it was the beginning of something huge. Colonel Sanders wasn't just selling chicken, he was selling a dream. A dream of a simple, unbeatable recipe that could be shared with the world. His big break came in 1952 when he opened the first official KFC franchise in Salt Lake City, Utah. He started with $105 in his pocket, a handful of small franchise agreements, and the hope that his 11 herbs and spices would change the fast food world forever. Little did he know it would. As more franchisees joined in, KFC grew at a rapid pace. What started as one small shack in Kentucky became a symbol of quality, tradition, and most of all, a promise of unbeatable fried chicken. Colonel Sanders was no longer just a man. He was an icon, a brand that would resonate across the globe. From 1952 to 1964, KFC expanded from one store to more than 600. But success didn't come easy. The Colonel faced challenges from internal struggles to corporate takeovers. In 1964, at the age of 73, Sanders sold his company for $2 million to a group of investors. While some might have seen this as an end, Sanders saw it as another chapter in his life's journey. Even after selling KFC, he continued to work with the company, promoting it worldwide, and eventually became the face of KFC that we all recognize today. Colonel Sanders passed away in 1980, but his legacy lives on, not just in his famous fried chicken, but in the story of a man who refused to give up. A man who started with nothing, struggled against the odds, and ended up changing the way the world eats chicken. From his humble beginnings to becoming a household name, Colonel Sanders showed us that it's never too late to follow your passion and build something great. A simple recipe, a relentless spirit, and the courage to keep going, no matter the setbacks, was all it took. And if you've ever had a piece of KFC chicken, you've tasted the dream that one man refused to let die. Remember, success doesn't care about your age, your setbacks, or your failures. What matters is your determination to keep moving forward. So take that step, make that change. Your journey is waiting, just like Colonel Sanders was.